Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're literally strapping into the pilot's seat to master one of the most complex, thrilling, and honestly absolutely essential aspects of Blackhawk Rescue Mission 5. That's right, we are talking about helicopters. If you've ever watched a fully loaded Blackhawk swoop in to save the day and thought, man, I want to do that, well, you're in exactly the right place. So let's get those rotors spinning, shall we?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this quote right here, detailing the legendary bunker event. This was a massive, pivotal moment in the game's lore. The UNJTF, that's the United Nations Joint Task Force, and Platinum 5 operators had to race against the clock to stop a biochemical ICBM from wiping out New York City. And the heroes of that day? They didn't just walk to the bunker. No way. They flew. Helicopters filled the sky, beating like thunder, which really just goes to show that mastering the air is the ultimate game changer on the battlefield.
To get you flying like a legend, we've put together a highly structured flight school curriculum for this explainer. We're going to start with the lore in The Skies of Ronograd, set up your base in your helicopter headquarters, cover the essentials in Flight School the Basics, push your skills with advanced flight maneuvers, and then wrap up with surviving the cockpit.
All right, let's kick things right off with Section 1, The Skies of Ronograd.
You see, the island of Ronograd is, well, it's incredibly hostile. You've got the Patriots of Democracy and the Ronograd Liberation Front everywhere. Ground vehicles like Jeeps, they kind of just make you a slow-moving target. Sure, they'll get you from point A to point B to start out, but achieving true dominance out there means you've got to take to the air. Piloting a helicopter is literally the ultimate milestone for any UNJTF operator. It's exactly how you provide vital support, extract your team from hot zones, and just rain down fire on enemy strongholds. Let's move to and see how this builds, because your journey as a pilot progresses right alongside your rank. If you're a 0 to 2-star player, your absolute primary goal is getting the little bird. That's going to be your first real taste of the skies. Then, by 3 to 4 stars, you should really be mastering that little bird, using it for rapid transport and scouting. And once you hit that sweet 5-star mark and beyond, boom! That's when you unlock the heavy hitters, the Sea Stallion and the iconic Blackhawk, which basically turns you into a true aerial powerhouse.
Moving right along to Section 2, your helicopter headquarters.
Believe it or not, a really great pilot's journey actually starts right on the ground with base management. Upgrading your helicopter hangar is absolutely vital. These upgrades give you additional aircraft slots so you can build out a versatile fleet. But honestly, more importantly, they let you assign mechanics to your aircraft division. Crashing a helicopter is incredibly expensive, trust me. Having a good crew on the ground gives you vital repair fee discounts, which is going to save you some serious credits in the long run.
Now, you can't just throw all your mechanics into the helicopter hangar, though, because there are diminishing returns. To maximize those repair fee discounts across the board, you really need to find that golden middle ground. Allocating your staff evenly, like a perfect 50-50 split right down the middle between your ground vehicles and your aircraft divisions, is definitely the smartest play here.
Okay, let's shift the energy to the cockpit for Section 3, Flight School, the Basics.
First things first, taking off without accidentally destroying your multi-thousand-dollar airframe. The takeoff sequence actually requires some patience. Step 1, use your tab menu to start the engine. Step 2, and listen, this is where rookies instantly embarrass themselves. Hold down your shift key. This keeps you firmly grounded while those rotors spin all the way up to full speed. If you don't do this, you're going to flip the helicopter before you even leave the base. No joke. Finally, step 3, once you're at full power, just hold space to lift off nice and smoothly. All right, so once you're actually up in the air, you need to understand your basic movement keys. W and S will pitch you forward and backward. A and D roll you left and right. Q and E control your yaw, which basically rotates you horizontally, and then space and shift manage your altitude. The core philosophy of flight here is super simple. Small, gradual inputs are highly recommended. Jerky movements? Yeah, those will send you straight into a tree, for sure.
We also absolutely have to talk about the drastic differences between platforms since the Gen 4 overhaul. If you're on PC, you've got mouse steering and the incredibly helpful auto hover feature. But a huge warning to our mobile players out there, the current flight system on mobile relies on dragging mechanics, and they are notoriously difficult. You have to rely on really careful, tiny dragging movements and extreme patience. Honestly, just achieving a basic hover on a phone is a massive badge of honor right now.
Huge congrats on mastering the basics. Okay, let's dive into this. With Section 4, Advanced Flight Maneuvers.
So, if you've mastered hovering without, exploding, it's time to take things to the next level. First up is the quick stop flare. This is when you pitch the airframe up at a steep 30 to 60 degree angle to rapidly kill your forward momentum.
It literally looks exactly like something straight out of an action movie, but it's actually incredibly practical. The quick stop is absolutely essential for navigating tight areas or quickly inserting your troops directly onto an objective without smashing into a building.
Next up, we have the roll-on landing. Instead of coming to a dead hover and dropping straight down, you glide in with a stable speed, touch down, and then quickly engage your parking brakes. This is the perfect technique for when you actually have the luxury of space, like if you're approaching a long runway and you just need to safely bleed off your momentum without coming to a violent stop.
And then there's loitering. This is a super effective offensive maneuver where you maintain a circular holding pattern right over a target area by constantly pitching inward and orbiting, which you do by using your Q, E, A, and D keys simultaneously. You basically turn your helicopter into this devastating, hard-to-hit weapons platform. Enemies on the ground will have a seriously tough time taking you down.
Finally, let's move into our last section, surviving the cockpit. Now, knowing how to fly is amazing, but surviving, that is absolutely a team effort. Surviving isn't just on the pilot. Sure, the pilot has tools like auto hover on X and countermeasures on T to dodge incoming missiles, but your gunners, they need to hold that left mouse button to fire and constantly manage their inventory, making sure they reload with R. And meanwhile, your passengers absolutely must know how to properly deploy. Pressing R to fast rope ensures that you get boots on the ground super fast without the helicopter having to make a full, vulnerable landing in the middle of a hot zone.
All right, I want to give you some rapid-fire survival rules every crew member must know. Number 1, avoid steep slopes. Smaller airframes, especially the Little Bird, are incredibly prone to tipping over and exploding if you land unevenly. Number 2, train without your auto hover enabled so you can build some real muscle memory. Number 3, practice simple hover circuits around your base. And number 4, use your night vision wisely. Trust me, you'll want to practice in the daytime first to really understand your spatial awareness before trying it in pitch black.
Well, that brings us to the end of our flight school explainer. The heroes of the bunker event proved the unmatched power of helicopters out there. So here's my final question for you. Are you ready to become Ronograd's next legendary pilot? My best advice right now is to jump into a private lobby, start those engines, and just start building that muscle memory. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy flying.